uh, Here we go. Well, you know I'm always out here for a reason, and I'm not gonna get on here for no reason. So let's get into this. You know, always gotta clear my throat before I start. I tell you it's that thyroid thing. Damn doctors in the United States, don't be trusting them, man. They be trying to just sell their medicine and their stuff, so they will kill you. But you know, we're gonna get started with this. This red book thing is important. I like evidence, and the red book is good evidence to support what's going on. Ooh. The reason why we have to support our evidence is because, you know, it's a lot going on with us. It's more than just a conspiracy, which corporations and the whole corporate, when I say corporate, I mean the District of Columbia is a corporation of the United States. That's the highest level. That means we own by England and all of them. So from that level to your basic mom and papa corporations out here, your Walmarts, all these media moguls and all these local cable channels we listen to, all of them is really conspiring against us. It's about $1. So, you know, whatever help we could help each other to awaken ourselves is the only real evidence you need. You know, everything else is really about your ego. We can't really do ego no more. Our parents did it. Their parents did it. We've been living in this construct and this so-called system of society that we really never really developed our individuality. So who are we then? You know, we struggle and we don't realize we're struggling. You struggle. Everybody's struggling. You're struggling within yourself to be yourself. It's like it's an identity provided for you, and if you don't adapt to that identity, it's like you're seen as an outcast in society. And it even has a very, very, very bad these things that they want us to be in society. You be that good child. You go get that good education and make your mother proud of you, and you know, do everything your family wants you to do and all that stuff, you know? These things have ramifications if you don't understand it. You know, it's because these was implemented on us like a program. You still got your genetic seed inside of you that got its own evolutionary process, who you are gonna be one day, and the whole unfolding of yourself, like the Egyptians with the lily flower, the unfoldment, the, what is it called? The flower of life. That's the petals of your chakras. You know, each one of those have a different amount of petals to it. Their chakras might open. Everybody knows the science of the chakras, and yeah, I'm like Kundalini opening, my chakra opening, but your chakras got petals to it. These is very important because only way your petals unfold is through wisdom, through knowledge, through seeking understanding. You just don't have open chakras and boom, that's it. You reach your epitome or whatever. No, it's a self-unfoldment of you evolving to be something more, you adding into the human just genetic program. It's already embedded in your seed. We just never took it to that level. We always settle for the family environment and our relationships, education. They give you the certificate from a doctorate to a master, and we believe that's the highest level of our education, and we believe that's who we are with these nurses. Who are you? Well, I'm a doctor. Who are you? Well, I'm a lawyer. You're not none of those things. And we do it to our kids too. What you gonna be when you grow up? Oh, I'm gonna be a police officer. I'm gonna be a fireman. No, you're not. You're gonna be an adult. You're still gonna be a child. And that's what we put psychologically in these people's heads. So when they grow up, they believe that they're a doctor and a lawyer. And so they go home from work of being a doctor or a lawyer and don't have time for their own family. They come home from work, they gotta hurry up and cook dinner. They gotta fix their clothes or take a shower because they gotta go to work. They got to hurry up with help Tommy with their homework because they got to go to work. They hurry up to go watch TV because they got to go to sleep to go to work. They probably got to prepare everything at home, check over their receipts and balances from work. So you always working, even when you're not working. You have to be able to separate yourself from work for family. Yes, sir. And that's the thing that we don't understand is that we ourselves, when we take on this ego psychology of we're this lawyer, doctor, engine chief, mentally we become them and we neglect our human side. When you neglect your human side, you become just a part of society, meaning all the doctors hang out together, all pseudo. Nobody know each other. It's a facade they put on, a mask. And see, this is where we lead to the Red Book. The Red Book is deep. You don't understand this. The implications on this gonna set us free, man. You see, we're bonded. We're bonded under something that they know the truth, but until you know the truth, it's nothing that's gonna be done about it. They're always gonna say, well, they don't know the truth and they're not saying that, and we're gonna use them and abuse them and kill them and exterminate them. Same like the Hitler did with the Jews. So, on that note, let's get into this Red Book thing and this Jungian theory and how I'm going to speak on not just from James Hill, anybody else who got anything to say about Carl Jung's work or anybody who criticizes it in any way because it's all fucked up. And it's really why people like me is able to understand and take it to other levels. He took it to a very small level. And I want people to understand that James Hill, who spoke on him, he's a famous psychologist. You could Google, YouTube him and watch his videos. He's going to open you up a little bit, and he defends Jung. But everybody got this man like he's crazy. Now, the reason why this is important is because everybody first followed him. He was the greatest psychiatrist in the world, wrote books on it, and set standards now that people follow as far as in psychology. But then he had this Red Book. This book now had things with him going into the astral world, talking to these gods and these spirits, things that we call demons and everything. This is C.J. Jung's personal diary that he never revealed to the world. He kept it a secret and he just revealed it at the end on his deathbed. You see, the importance of this is because when these people now read all his works and his literature, which made him a great man, over 100 books, and all the services he did, you see now that one book just put a little hot sauce in his whole career and his whole life. So now people look at him as he was seeing things. He's not in his right state of mind. But with the way he described everything in details, drew pictures, it only relates to people who've been in those worlds. And this is what this is about. Because psychiatrists and psychology, medicine is denying him. And by denying him, it's denying you. You go through those experiences, read the Red Book, watch the video. It's like, you can get into it. And you will see some of the experience you have with the ancestors is the same experiences that man had. But you afraid to talk about it. You don't have your own family that want to hear it. They think you're crazy and you do need to go see a psychiatrist. But you know what? When I watched this Red Book thing, I watch how he kills it, man. And this is what makes it pathetic, that makes me bring this to y'all attention. He calls it, when his own handwriting, he writes in his secret book, my soul, where are you, my soul? I have forsaken you and I lost you all my life, where you been? It's his soul that is taking him on these journeys, man, that he's seeing these scary things that bring him face to face with devil, with gods, with all these archetypes from back in the ancient medieval days. And so when you actually see that, wow, I'm having a soul awakening, it's my soul. All this is my soul. Everything he's saying, from the snakes to the dragon, let me break it down like they do. It's like we got a map of the world, but the map eventually fades out of things mapped out, and we get to a world of unknown that has not been mapped out yet. There's people like me, and probably a whole bunch of y'all like that is visiting or exploring those worlds that's not mapped out, but we're seen as crazy, lunatic. There's a word for it really called melancholy. All of this is psychological definition to try to throw you off of your awakening of you knowing you're the Christ. That's God. He says it. If this man right, he's a psychiatrist that deals with these crazy people, lunatics, whatever you want to call them, and he himself in private cannot disclose his own personal experiences. This is telling you that society is messed up. A person have to hide that and on his deathbed put it out. And so when he tell you about his soul, and how his soul showed him from the demions to made him cry, to made him be a child again, all these things that it did to him, it's all part of our awakening. It took him to many places, saw many dimensions, his afterlife, his other life. Those right there, it's your soul. And we all right now is going through that today with these experiences we have, these running from our dreams, these things chasing us. That's your soul. And you know, when they do a big lecture, and it kills me, this is what kills me the most. And it really is. Think about it. If I could just tell you in a couple words, that's your soul, and this man is trying to tell y'all, y'all don't have a soul. Y'all lost your soul. Because the simple fact is, if y'all think he's crazy, if y'all think this is a phenomenon, a weird experience that Jung had, you're soulless. You don't have a soul. And you know what he's talking about. That's what's going on. He's telling the world they're soulless. And he found his soul. Go find yours. But people's like, this is a weird phenomenon. What's wrong with him? Did he lost his mind? We live in a society governed that society dictates what to say. Anything that's psychic or anything that's invisible, we think it's crazy. And the shit about it is that we dream, we have love in us that's invisible. All these invisible feelings and things that's inside of us, we don't acknowledge it. And when people display them, you say that they're unreal or crazy. But then when you die, you don't know what happened to you and you just disappear. And really what happened to you, if you're a materialist, which if you don't understand Jung or anything he's saying, you are a materialist. You're going to wind up just dying with your possessions, floating off in some dimension, being trained by angels, and you believe you're really living within your goal, whether your goal was to live like on MTV Raps and all that shit, them cribs on them shows and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you're going to be living, like your pinnacle of whatever your desire is. But none of that is true. It's time when you got to drop everything and put everything to the side and take that soul journey. And that soul journey is going to be a scary journey. It's you coming one with your shadow sides. These shadow sides is these symbols or archetypes. You know, if anybody's listening that's a Jungian that don't understand what's going on, let me make something clear to you where Jung did good at, but he also messed up at. What wound up happening is that we get so caught up in these projections. We get so caught up in these ancestors talking to us and dealing with them that we don't understand who's the one projecting it. Who's behind this? Did you ever try to look and see? We just sometimes get caught up in the beauty of the images, like how the sun is right now projecting, and then you be like, oh, it's Pac-Man, oh, it's Big Bird, oh, it's this. But you know, what's behind the sun? What's making that happen? That's what we have to look at. That's what nobody's paying attention to, what Jung didn't pay attention to and made him miss out. Because if he did, he knows about the gatekeepers. And every one of those is a gatekeeper, and he's supposed to pass a test. He's actually in the underworld, the Tuat, the same thing the Egyptians tell you about. That's where he was at, to go retrieve his soul. But instead of him retrieving his soul, it threw him into a state of depression where he actually started taking it into a more figurative or allegorical way, because that's how they project it to you. It's your ego. So your ego is pushing back against it because it's the death of your ego. Your ego and your soul is about to have a battle right now for you, your body. You think you're you, but you're not you. You're not even in this. You're held hostage someplace in it. All right, look at it like this. Your body is just a body. It's just a vessel. It's whoever could take over it is the person. A long time ago, something took it over, more than likely a demon, and it became what's called your ego. So you live in an egotistical way. You want everything to be functioned around your fantasies. Your fantasies is what starts off your thoughts. Your thoughts is what make you do everything you do. So by you having these type of egos, when you actually awaken, you, the real you awaken, and you come home to your house, which is your body, you see that your ego took it over. And you're like, what the fuck is this? That's the soul awakening. And you start seeing these symbols, all these icons, these logos. They have an overlay of anybody who have emotions and feelings. It's all part of the universal consciousness that we all share. And so with this universal consciousness, everybody, when they get into a certain state, they're going to see the gods. You're going to see ancient images and symbol, pyramids, crosses, you know, the macabre. All these things is all a part of a archetype, like how he say it, of symbols that has to do with you. But at the end of the day, it's more to those symbols. Those symbols is pathways, gateways. They test you as they look like beings and spirits. But if you don't understand that system, how it works, you're just going to be relishing in the visions and what you're seeing. The visions themselves is a test for you to pass, to get rid of emotional baggages, or for him, the ego. You know, when you watch it and you hear his story or you read his book, he was battling over with Elijah and Salmon. That's supposed to be Elijah's daughter, wife. And he wanted Jung to bow to them. And Jung was like, nah, he's not bowing to Salmon because Salmon was one who set up John the Baptist and got him killed. So he's not doing it. And so he's like, well, if you can't love Salmon, you can't love me. So he's in a crossroad and a cross point. It shouldn't even have been a situation like that they came. He's very rude and disrespectful to the ancestors. That's why he never passed those levels and was just able to bring y'all a little piece of information that all y'all, but in the beginning, that's, to be honest, that's his ego that kills him. He's stuck in his own ego. He believes he's called Jung. He don't know he is them. And so that's what happened to him, where he went through such a breakdown and went through all the stuff. If he would have just accepted love in himself, he would have been able to leave the body and ascend and realize that belonged to them. They're the gatekeepers of that. So what the journey he took, it's a very deep journey, and I've been through it with everything he's been through, but we passed those. I don't know how it works with certain people when they get these education and get into these right brain stuff or whatever, but what wind up happening to me, I see that they get caught up in the visions and into the imagery that you could say demons. They're the angels, but they go in about it to teach you lessons, make you chase the carrot on the donkey in a circle till you realize, motherfucker, love the shit and just keep it moving. What do you mean you don't love it because of what happened with John the Baptist? How you know any of that shit is true? And it's the same thing we do. We read the books and we believe that stuff so we don't understand. And these is tests for us, these gatekeepers make, to show us our false and our wrongness. And you can't ascend into the higher kingdoms because of these egotistical ways. I know I pass a lot of these people, from Martin Luther King to Gandhi to a whole bunch of these, even Paracelsus. All of them is egotistical and they don't get into the real higher kingdom, none of them. He never made it up there. Where he saw, he never made it to. You understand? For you to make it there and survive there, you have to be there. You have to accept that. You can't deny none of it. When you deny it, it's going to be those that you see visions, prophecies. But if you accept it, now you don't see those. You see ancestors, you see God, you see your soul. It's just that it's very scary and ugly looking, and they know your consciousness can't take it and it'll make you mad. So it keeps it like an overlay. Your eyes overlay it to block it out so you can't see it. But that don't mean it's there. It's not there. It's there, but you have to be able to look beyond your thoughts and your emotions and your desires so you see the truth that's there. That's not, you're only going to see what you want to see. And that's what happened with Jung, why he never really got the full effect of the astral world or got to see God or his whole soul or everything. It just left with him in a question mark still as to what's going on. One thing he was right about, it is his soul, and that is a soul journey. but it's way deeper than that. It's gatekeepers, it's things you have to do. You connect your DNA back, your genetics with the eyes. It's a whole big world. So don't think that what Jung did was so fascinating because he never got in. He made it to the entrance, but he never got in. You understand? There's more to it. I more than got in. I finished it and came back and explained everything about it. But I just feel very sorry for the man because everybody's who don't have a soul is trying to figure out what he is. He crazy? No, y'all is all dead and crazy. I don't understand how you don't understand you're supposed to live and just do this for the rest of your life and be happy and think this is it. You have a more awakening to do. He went further because he grew, he matured. There's no melancholy. There's no such thing as melancholy for people who get intelligent, philosophized, or what. All that is just your kundalini. This is all about your kundalini. Your kundalini activates after you get a certain perception of truth inside of you. When you follow philosophy or educating yourself, you open up doors of truth, portals within your chakra system. Once they align to a certain degree, then you have the soul awakening. The soul awakening is everything that C.J. Jung wrote in his book, and maybe even 20 times more scarier, depending how tough you are and don't want to let go of yourself. Or it could be a very easy ride. It's only you believing in religion and you're seeing these ugly horn things like what he talked about, and you believe that's the devil, so you're scared. And being scared, you're judgmental. So with all of these, they never let you in. You fail the test, and so you go for desolation instead. You die, you get recycled if you don't even exist no more. Put it like that. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of people if they don't accept the truth. So I just want you to know what the Red Book is about. It's a very good book. It tells you that the post-traumatic stress, all the schizophrenic activity that's going on with you is because you're having a soul awakening. It's temporary, so it's part of a level in your kundalini. It's not the whole thing. So you don't have to worry about that, something is going to happen to you or anything is you're going to have bad experiences or being attacked by some demon. It's levels to take those out of you. Once you overcome them, then you go to the next level. But if you want to get into some real deep science and understand more about the soul, and you didn't get to awaken, watch the Red Book specials on YouTube, and you get to see what really happens when your soul awaken, how trippy it is, how dangerous it is, how much shit you got to go through. It's what's in this book, and it's psychology. It's not theology. It's not about no gods and angels and all that stuff. It's really what goes through. Now, I'm going to follow up on it, and I really didn't even read none of the book. I saw it for 5 minutes, and I already know what it was, and I did this. You understand? But I'm going to get into it and probably be teaching it on my Facebook. I'm going to step up University of Conscious Science. Right now, I'm going to leave it as is for a quick second to get everybody introduced. But eventually, I'm going to boot everybody out and get some curriculums and lessons, and then I'm going to start teaching it correctly. All right, y'all. One love. How you end this? Okay. Let me see.